Hello again. Welcome back to a day on the range. It's Monday, and the time that I have to shoot here is slowly dwindling. I can do it faster than I want. Beautiful day, a little breezy, but it's mild. It's about 18 degrees. A little cloudy overhead, but not too bad. So yeah, it's getting down to the wire. Now, in past videos, I have talked about my bows, but that's all I've talked about. I haven't talked about my other equipment, all the arrows. But some people were asking, especially some new followers, about the bow. So we're going to go over it again, and I've been shooting it for over a year now, and I have not lost the love affair that I have with it. It's a PSE archery longbow. It's a flat bow. As you can see, it's a flat bow, but it's a true bow. It's no slight reflex, deflex to the limbs. And it's called an Oryx, and boy oh boy, I love this bow to death. It's 50-pound draw at 28 inches. Now, my draw length is 30 and a half, which measures out to just over 58 pounds. So, but the nice thing about this is absolutely no stacking. I can draw it back to 34, and she could probably go further. Now, one thing about it being a 50-pound draw, or 58 for me, is it's great for 3D shooting, regardless of the distance, and with the new Flemish Twist fast light string on her, she fires the arrows out perfectly. Some of our distances were 59 meters. We've also gone all the way out to the dirt road and fired from there, which is like about 80 meters, shooting at these targets here, and no problems handling it. But what I'm finding is, giving my advanced age and decrepitude, that when I'm just shooting on range, like the flat range here, I get a little tired. I shoot 3 arrows per round, 20 rounds, and then I'll do that again. And I'll mark down my scores on that cool app I showed you in one of the earlier videos. And it gets tiring after a while, usually around arrow 70, 75. If I don't get them off quick, then I'm, starting to do a wobble, which is never good when you're shooting. So I'm going to get the exact same bow. They've got one, I found out they've got another one in stock at the Wolf's Den, and it's 40-pound draw. So again, at my draw length, I'm probably going to be around 47, 48, I don't know, which is perfect. I don't get tired when I shoot my 45-pound recurve, and that pulls out to about 54 pounds. So the 40-pound longbow for just doing the 18, 20 meter shooting, as if I was shooting indoors at a tournament, I think will be perfect. I also think my arrows will do well with that. So it's 68 inches tip to tip ammo. The tips, as you can see, are reinforced, and I shoot off the shelf like all good trad archers. I've got a bear hair rest, which I'm going to have to replace pretty soon because I've worn it down, so much so that I've had to change my knock point a bit. And you got the leather striker plate. It's got a very nice grip to it. It's very light. Weight-wise, it's about a pound and a half. Um, she's steady. Not a lot of hand shock. And when I put the Flemish on it, it actually reduced the hand shock. And just going to a heavier wooden arrow, greatly reduced. So I hardly feel anything. I don't even notice it anymore. So when I'm shooting like 120 arrows, 130 arrows, it's not the hand shock that gets to me. It's again, it's pulling 58 pounds that many times, and without a lot of, I take a rest after 60 arrows, but you get a bit of a break when you come down to pick up your 3 arrows and go back, but that's it, and it does start to get a little tiring, and I can see that in where my arrows are landing on the target. So that's the bow. My other bow, I don't have it with me. The recurve again is, like I said, a Canadian Tire special. Cheap. It's the Canadian version of the Samick Sage, and like the Samick, for its money, you're getting a pretty good bow. I was impressed with it. I have shot, thousands upon thousands of arrows through it. My only quibble with that bow was the bolts that fix the limbs to the riser would come loose every once in a while. So I dabbed them in Loctite and haven't had to touch them since. If I ever try to break it down, I don't know what I'm going to do. So as far as I'm concerned, she is now officially a one-piece bow. And I'm really impressed with it. For the price, it got me back into archery. I mean, I've been away from it for a long time, and it got me back into archery nicely. I wasn't fighting it. It allowed me to remember how I used to shoot without a lot of hassle. It's an easy bow to shoot. It's forgiving, which was nice. And it got me to the point where, even though I'd never had a long bow, I always wanted one, and I felt comfortable enough that in my shooting ability up to that point to do the switch, and I'm glad I did. Whether or not I go back to a recurve, it'll be trad only, not bare bow, traditional only. The first bow I started out with was the Bear Grizzly recurve, and I was 15 years old when I bought it. It was just a fantastic bow. It's the one I learned on, and the one that I shot over the subsequent years, and I have yet to find a bow that just seemed to fit so naturally in my hand and shoot so nice and look so beautiful. So now I think I'm talking myself into getting another recurve, but they're expensive. I only paid, this was back in 76, 75, 76. I paid $100 for it, 100 and a quarter, I think, with that. 100 and a quarter, because the guy threw in some arrows and a quiver, and a glove. And now, they're $800-900 Canadian. Some of the Bear products, are over $1,000. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, you get what you pay for. The Bear quality, Bear line of bows, the quality is, you can't beat it. I mean, there are excellent bow makers out there that can match it, but they can't beat it. I mean, it's just such an exquisite bow. Okay, enough about that. So yeah, that's my longbow, or an American flat bow, and it does have a shelf, as I talked about earlier, and it's not cut to center, but given that it does have a shelf, the archer's paradox isn't as drastic as it would be on a proper English longbow that doesn't have a rest, and also some of the Mandarin bows, or the Hungarian bows, the horse bows. I don't think they have a shelf, from what I've been watching on the videos, YouTube videos, but they also have a thinning where the grip is, and I think that helps to alleviate some of the archer's paradox as well. So now, set that aside for a minute. Have a sip of my Tim Hortons coffee. Oh yeah, you Americans, if you don't have Tim Hortons down there, you're missing out. And it doesn't cost you a small fortune to get a coffee like you would at Starbucks or something like that. I'm going to talk about some of the equipment that I carry on my belt, my quiver. It's, as you can see, it's an Easton. Good quality. It still looks pretty new, even though I've worn it into the bush a lot around here for the last year and a half, and it serves me well. It's not as fancy as Agama Green's equipment. I'm going to provide a link to her YouTube if you don't know who she is already. The equipment that she makes, and I don't know if her husband takes part in that, or if it's just Agama, but it's beautiful. Her quivers, everything, right down to the belts, her arm guards. She makes bow quivers, like for, I guess we call them a holster, a bow holster. Works in different leathers, different materials, and these things are not only very usable, easy to use, user-friendly, they are beautiful. So hats off to Agama for her craftsmanship and her shooting skills too. I don't have those skills. I'm not even sure if I have the same kind of archery skills that she has, or handy or anything. I just shoot, and I have fun, and I'd like to get into the competitions once they open up again, just to see how well I do against other archers in my class. I shoot here with other people, the family that owns the place, or did own the place. Oh man, that's going to be hard to get used to. But they all shoot compound bows. So, and like they keep, they would always ask me every once in a while, why don't you get a real bow? And I'd say, well, why don't you guys become real archers? Which didn't usually go down that well. And no offense to compound archers. That's what you use, that's your style, that's your preference of shooting. Same with Olympic recurve, bear bow, and trad. We all have our own loves for the way we shoot and the equipment we use. So, I've talked about the arrows. These are my white pine arrows. Right now they're used for stumping. The problem is because they're wooden, and they already came tipped, that it's a little hard if if you don't pick the right rotted stump or log to shoot into. It can be a real bugger to get out, and as you can see, I'm going to have to re-tip this one. I'm going to see if I can get, what do they call them, ninja or judo tips. They have the metal prongs, and they stop the arrow from deeply penetrating the wood. So I think I'll get a bag of those, and as I lose tips from stumping, I'll just replace them. Eventually I'm going to have to get a new batch of arrows for stumping, and I'll probably go back to carbons, just make sure they're feather fletched, and then I can change out the tips depending on what I do. I'm not going to shoot them as a practice or if I get on a 3D range or even here. That's just for stumping. So they can be the cheapos. You know, they say never fall in love with your arrows, because at some point in time they're going to start breaking, or you're going to lose them, or, you know, one thing or another, you're going to have to replace them. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be doing. But the Easton quiver, it's a hip quiver, has a nice strong utility belt to go with it. This is actually very close to my gun belt when I was in uniform. They're thicker and wider, obviously, but it's a familiar feel to me, and I like it. It's got a couple of neat things. It's got a pocket for binoculars, small pair of binoculars, which is great. And it's a magnetic flap. Keep it in there. Now you've got a main pouch here, and I keep my bow puller, which I should probably use more often than I do. I just make sure I grab real close to the point as I can, and I don't do any twisting or anything. But I should use this, especially with wood arrows. My arm guard, my glove, another glove, and my stringer, bow stringer goes in there after I put my bow away in its sleeve. The front pocket, a small multi-tool utility knife, which is great for repairs or anything else you need to do. String wax, I always like to keep that handy. Nice thing about having these pouches is, one, you get organized, and two, you know where everything is. You're not opening drawers and moving trays and sifting through garbage to find what you need. My watch I strap here, and this. Now, I know I don't need it when I'm out here on this property, but when I'm up north, stumping in the bushes, and along the trails to my brother's cabin. He's got about 70 or 80 acres up there. And never, you know, from a northerner, never go into the bush without a knife. Okay? It's there in case you need it. I use it to dig out arrows when I'm stumping. This particular knife I've had for almost 35 years. It's the Buck 119. There's a lot of YouTube videos up there about this one, the Buck 119. One of the best all-round bush or camp knives ever. I've chopped wood with this. I've hammered on it to make kindling. It's sharp enough. I've skinned fish with it. It's such a handy knife, and I'll tell you, this thing's been through hell and back, and, you know, take a look. It's a beautiful knife. So, it's well weighted, feels good in the hand, and got a toughened, thick leather holster to protect it. I'll sharpen it and oil it every once in a while. You don't have to do it too often. Just, you know, nothing looks worse than rust on a blade. So, that is that. We got my cedar arrows. I'm going to have to change these out soon because I keep shooting the same 3 arrows. So, but that's fine. They've weathered the storm well, and I love how they shoot. So, that is today's talk before I start shooting. I'm going to get things organized, and I'll set up at the 20-meter mark and shoot. I brought my portable target just in case these 2 were gone, and I know that they will be soon. Excuse me, almost everything is now gone and out of the house and stuff, so there's only a few things left. They were nice enough to leave these up for me, which I really appreciate. But you know, they're getting down to the wire, so these things will probably be going in the next load. So yeah, that's that. Hi to everybody. Look forward to getting caught up on your videos. I'm slowly doing it, getting caught up, and you're posting new ones, so it's hard for me to catch up on the old ones when I'm watching the new ones. But I'm trying, so hopefully in the next little while I'll be all caught up. And as long as I'm allowed to shoot here, I will try to video as much as possible. So once I get going, and boy, oh boy, do I talk a lot. You know the old saying, sorry to make a long story short, and the retort is, too late. Yeah, that's it. I also have been asked questions, here I'm going again. I've also been asked questions about my books. I'm not going to introduce them today. I will, however, on the next video, I'll bring copies with me. They're called author's copies, and I'll give them a showing and a brief synopsis of what they're about. I've written 6 so far. One, Union Bound, was made into a movie in the States. I wrote that one under my pen name. I've written 3 books under my pen name, and then another 3 books under R.W. Goodship. And we'll talk about that on the next video. So anyway, okay. I said I was done about 3 times now, so let's see if I can't make it 4th time the charm. Alright, so I'm going to go set up, and I'll see you briefly. And I'm just going to shoot at the lower target down there, the bag target hanging. The middle is so shot out that the arrows are starting to go through the bag, and I don't feel like chasing them down the hill. So we're going to keep shooting at the beat up old target sitting on the ground. Now, like I said before, it's just the facing, the canvas facing that's beat up. They're so easy to get replacements for. And so we'll shoot at that one. Alright? And we are at the 20-meter mark. Hello. All right. There you go. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm trying to hit the small circles in the corners. I've got two. Oh, just shy of number 3. Oh, just shy of number 4. That's okay, close. Right in the middle. Right next to it. In the middle, just not as close to the other ones. Ah. Far off a couple more. Oh! Should have stuck with the 3. Better. And we're back again. Okay. Just gonna keep shooting for a little while. Anybody see something wrong with my form, give me a holler. Yeah. I know my release is ugly, but it's mine. So. Finally hit the top corner. Wasn't going for the top corner. Ooh. Those were 3 ugly arrows. Okay. I had thought of something to say, but on the way down and on the way back, I completely forgot what it was. So, that's getting old. Yeah, no idea. We're just gonna keep shooting. Maybe it'll come to me. Grouping's pretty good. I'm just going to keep shooting because I haven't remembered what I was going to say. Not bad. out for something different. Okay. I still have not remembered what I was going to say. Not bad at all. Okay, I'm going to keep shooting, but I'm going to end the video. Like I said, I'll just keep coming out here as long as I can, and I'll make videos, not all the time, but as many videos as I can make. And hopefully there won't be too big an intermission between the last day here and the first day wherever. So, anyway, again, a reminder, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on A Day on the Range. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and good shooting.